What is up, guys? Smurfy here, back for another deck tech. This one is going to be, I don't know what the actual deck is called. I don't know if anyone else is even made this deck. But basically you use Hidden Herbalist, which produces 2 mana when it enters the battlefield, and Burning Tree Emissary, and you play both of them in a zoo deck, and you just use that to get a huge board presence on turn 2, and hopefully kill your opponent on turn 3, if not turn 4. So start off, we've got 17 lands, we have 12 fetch lands, 4 Foothills, Mesa and Myers, 3 Stomping Ground, a Sacred Foundry just for the Nakato and sideboard cards, and a 1-off Mountain, which is nice if they path you or something like that. And also sometimes against aggressive decks you just need to get a basic because you don't want to shock. However, that could easily be another Stomping Ground. For 1-drops we've got Experiment 1. In this deck this can easily be a 3-3, even it can actually go up to a 6-6, but I think the highest I've had is a 4-4. We have, so 4 Experiment 1, 4 Goblin Guide because it's an aggressive zoo deck, 4 Curdape, and 4 Wild Nakato. Pretty much just the best 1-drops available. You can play Monastery Swift Spear. If you were going to cut anything, I think you cut Curdape. However, Curdape evolves Experiment 1, which is why I prefer it, and we're not running that many instants and sorceries, so I just think that, I think I just prefer Curdape for now at least. So then, as previously mentioned, for Herbalist, for Burning Tree Emissary, Revolt is easy to trigger in this deck. We've got 12 fetch lands, and if for whatever reason you don't have Revolt on turn 2, often you can just attack with your 1-drop, they'll bolt it or they'll path it or something, or Fatal Push, and then you get Revolt. So I think Revolt is actually a lot easier to get than it looks, especially in Modern. And then we have the payoff cards for playing all the Burning Trees and Herbalist. So we have 4 Bushwhacker. You pretty much just use this turn 2 or 3 with your stupid board presence from all the 0-mana 2/2s, and you just deal absurd amounts of damage. You can go like Hidden Herbalist into Burning Tree, into a Bushwhacker and things like that, and you can get in for stupid amounts of damage on turn 2. I think you can possibly have a turn 2 kill, I'm not sure, but I think it is possible. Next we have Mere Superion. So Mere Superion is a 2-mana 5/6, can only be cast by mana produced by creatures. So typically you use like Mana Dorks to do it or something like that. However, Burning Tree and Hidden Herbalist both make mana, therefore you can cast Hidden Herbalist. You can cast Mere Superion from the Herbalist and the Burning Tree. So if you go turn 2 Burning Tree into into Mere Superion, you just added 7 power to the board on turn 2, which is insane. We also run 2 Talari's Battalion, which is like a smaller version of the Mere Superion. So it's just a 4/3 with Trample, and you can only cast it if you cast a green spell this turn. So obviously both trees, the tree and the Herbalist, are green. You can play 4 of these as well, but I've only done a little bit of testing, but I found that you don't want that many payoff cards. You only want quite a few. Like Bushwhacker you can play whenever. Bushwhacker is always great. But these you don't really want to have 2 Mere Superion stuck in your hand. So I found that playing 6 of these style effects is better than playing 8. So I've just chosen to cut 2 battalions depending on the meta. If you're playing against a lot of Lingering Souls, then obviously you want this over the Mere Superion because that's Trample. But this doesn't survive Bolt, so I prefer Mere Superion, not knowing what I'm going to play against. But if I knew I was going to play against a lot of Lingering Souls and crappy creatures, then I would play more Battalion. And then we have 4 Manamorphose. Manamorphose is there to fix your mana from your Herbalist and your Burning Tree. Sometimes you play your Burning Tree or Herbalist and then you don't actually have anything to do with that mana because it's the wrong colours. So if you play Herbalist and you have a Goblin Guide and a Curdape in your hand, you can't use the mana. Or if you have a Burning Tree and you want to cast 2 green creatures or 2 red creatures, Manamorphose just fixes that. And it's a very little cost in the deck to play it. It looks very clunky, but it works a lot more. You'll see it in the games, but yeah, it just fixes your mana. It's surprisingly good. It also means that you can get a turn 2 Battalion without any of the 2 mana creatures, which is quite nice. And it also fuels the Becomements a little bit. We also play 4 Tarkus Command. 4 Tarkus Command basically goes along with the Bushwhacker, where you're playing all these cheap efficient creatures, and then you just pump them up a little bit, and that normally gets the job done. And then the 1-off Becomements, because we had 1 slot and 1 Becomements, feels pretty free. We're playing 12 fetch lands for Manamorphose. So yeah, that's going to be the deck. Sideboard, we have 3 Path to Exile. You can play these main deck. I've just found that you want to be as aggressive as possible game 1, and you don't want to be going Burning Tree into something and having a Path stuck in your hand when you wish that was like a Curdape or something. So I've chosen to keep these in the sideboard. You can bring those in against any creature matchups, things that have Tarmogoyfs and crap like that you want to just get out of the way so you can keep hitting them in. 3 bolts, same thing really, except it can also just go face. Sometimes you want that as well. Then we've got 4 Destructive Revelry. This is just for any artifacts or enchantments. 2 Deflecting Palm. This is for Infect, Mono Green, or the green like Kessig Wolfrun decks that people play on Modo. I don't know why, but I play against that deck a lot. Infect, Death Shadow Zoo, and occasionally you'll play against like a Grizzlebrand deck and you can deflect the Grizzlebrand. And then 3 creates Dragon's Claw, just for burn matchups. So that is the deck. I don't actually know if anyone else is playing this style of deck. I haven't seen any lists online. So I don't really know what to call it, so I've just called it 8 Tree because it runs 4 Burning Tree, 4 Herbalist. Because I know when the new Bushwhacker came out, people called it 8 Whack. So I've called it 8 Tree. I don't know, whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in round 1. Peace.